Hi, and welcome to the Holly C Podcast, a show about expressing your brilliance with ease and flow. I'll show you how to take the woo-woo out of the clouds and apply it to real life for effortless action. This show is for world changers and future world changers, so if you know there's more to life and you're wondering what's next, this is your show. Hi, I'm Holly, your host. I'm a speaker, author, teacher of health, wellness, vitality, and spirituality, and also a dragon spirit guide. Today's episode is one about new beginnings. So I am recording it at the beginning of 2020, the beginning of the year, but it doesn't mean you have to be listening at the start of the year for this to be relevant to you. This is all about new beginnings. Now, in Chinese philosophy, there's the yin-yang, where there's the yin and the yang, and as one expands, the other diminishes. And it's a perpetual cycle where one is always waxing and one is always waning. And so too it is with beginnings, because beginnings mean the end of something. It means there's a point where things are changing. So you may be at a point in your life where things are coming to a close, where it's time to move in a new direction. And you may have felt this way for a long time. Well, guess what? You're listening to this podcast, so it's time to shift gears and move wholeheartedly into the new direction, into a new beginning. So we're going to connect with the universe just to hear what the universe has to say about this new beginnings. And really, it's about you opening your connection with the universe, connecting to hear the wisdom from your heart and soul, because my new beginning is going to be totally different from yours in terms of how it manifests in the physical realm. Energetically, there's a lot of similarity. There's the same energy, but I want you to get the guidance and clarity you need for stepping forward into your new direction. So to connect with the universe, we're going to enter the dragon spirit space. And this is where I plug into the universe and it shares with me words and images to share with you so that you can quiet your mind and hear your own dragon spirit. So your dragon spirit is that voice within that craves adventure, exploration, growth, expansion, and excitement. It's that inner voice that too often we belittle it by calling it that little voice inside, but it's a big voice. It might be a quiet voice, but it's a very powerful voice, and it will very powerfully guide you to where you need to be. And if you listen to it, it will lead you on the most expansive, easy, and effortless and fun path. So to enter the dragon spirit space, I'm going to ask you to place your hand on your heart, and we're going to do 3 dragon breaths. And what you'll do is you'll breathe in through your nose, and you'll breathe out through your mouth when you exhale. And as you breathe out, if you feel like letting out a sigh or a sound like a feel free to do so. So place your hand on your heart, doesn't matter which hand, and just bring your awareness to your heart right now. And if you notice any tension in your upper shoulders or neck or back, just gently move your muscles a little and release some of that tension. All right, let's begin. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. And again, in through your nose. And breathe out. And once more, in through your nose, deep into your belly. Expanding your chest and breathe out. Now, what comes to mind are a couple of children's toys. You may have played with these yourself when you were a child. The first is a xylophone with the many colored slats of wood or metal that you can tap on to make sound. And the other is a very popular Fisher-Price toy. I believe it was called a rock and stack, where there was a plastic base that was smooth on the bottom and kind of rock side to side, kind of like a boat. And there was like a stick, a cone that came out the center, and you had different shaped donuts that you could, well, plastic donuts that you could stack onto this cone. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. And these toys, they're very, very colorful. Now, the thing that the universe wants to communicate, wants me to pass along, is specifically about the rock and stack. How this was a very traditional toy that many, many children grew up with. Millions of children had this toy, and it has always endured. It's been the same for decades. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Now, the toy company is actually changing it. And at first, just the idea, hearing that this toy is going to be changed, affects a lot of people. It triggers them because it's like, how dare you mess with my childhood? How dare you touch my memories? And that's the feeling that people get. Like, imagine if they turned the donuts into squares instead of circles. Or what if instead of making this tactile toy, they decided, we're going to make a digital version that you just stack donuts, virtual donuts on a screen on a phone. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Or what if we tried to enhance it and we added sound and lights to these donuts so that when they stacked up, it would play sound and flash lights? Now, many people would be upset about this. What if we told you that instead of doing this, the toy company is actually looking at how to make this toy out of sustainable, eco-friendly plastic? How do you think people who would have been triggered before, would they be as triggered? How many people would celebrate? Know that whatever happens, that even if the change is for the greater good, there will be people who resist it because it is still change. And resistance to change comes from the mind. The mind digs in its heels because any change represents a shakeup of the status quo. The mind is attached to the status quo to preserve your life, to keep you safe. That is how the mind is wired. It wants to keep everything neat, orderly, the same, because this ensures the ongoing survival of the physical organism. Things change too much. The physical body cannot adapt as quickly as energy can, as the energy body, as the soul can adapt. The soul is infinitely adaptable, malleable, able to change form. Energy can instantly become anything. But things that have manifested physically, the things that you can touch, smell, hear, see, it takes longer for these things to change. And so, you have built into your biological programming a safeguard, a mechanism to keep you alive. Because whatever you're doing now, it has gotten you this far. If you keep doing it, the thinking is that you will continue to survive. But within that physical body that you have, being this physical, instinctual being, you have a heart and you have a soul. You are alive because of energy. The energy of the universe flows through you and gives you life. And this is like yin and yang, two opposing forces that work together. So one is about hunkering down and ensuring your survival, your physical survival. The other is knowing that it's almost irrelevant, that you are energy, that you are alive no matter what happens to the physical body. And this energy craves expansion. This energy craves exploration and growth. And so the two are inside you, and how it manifests is just simply a reflection of how much you listen to one versus the other. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. The most fearful in our societies are the ones who are most tuned into the physical instincts, most connected to hearing only what the mind will allow. It will filter. Whatever comes through the filter of the mind, that is what the person is attached to. And it depends on their experiences. More fear leads to a propensity to listen to the mind more, to listen to the physical instincts. This is different than gut feeling, intuition. That's tuning into the soul and the heart and the universe. And so, because of the quote-unquote wild nature of the heart and soul, the wanting to explore and not having the fear, some people find it very, very scary because this energy leads you into the unknown. It leads you to create your own path. It leads you to your authentic self, which is so different than the physical self. But the two can coexist in harmony. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. And the two have coexisted in harmony for millennia. And it's just when things just tipped a little bit in one direction and it started to go like a snowball, more and more into the mind, listening to the mind, tapping into the fear, and it has swung quite far. You could say we are at the full waxing of a period of fear, chaos, and confusion. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. But you know what the good news is that when, just like yin and yang, when one element is at its fullest, that is when it begins to wane and the other element starts to grow and expand. And so we are at a point in humanity where we are shifting into the yin element, one of internal expression, one of receiving guidance as opposed to setting off and trying to conquer, one of greater contemplation and compassion, one where you will see expansion through a different paradigm. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. And this is what this beginning is all about. Let's go back to the xylophone. Why was there a visual of a xylophone? Why was a xylophone brought forth? Because the message there is about expression. As a child, you would gladly pick up the wooden stick and start tapping away on the xylophone. You didn't look at it and assess what notes were on it and say, what songs can I play within this range? The songs that somebody else created. No, you created your own music. That is what this new beginning is about. It is not about following paths that have been tread before multiple times so that there are deep ruts in the ground and that you can almost not get out of these paths. This is about, picture a field, and it has just snowed, and not a single creature has put a single footprint on this snow. And you are about to stroll across this meadow. You're going to be the first. And how easily you step into the meadow and across the meadow is all up to you. If you listen to your fears and your quote-unquote adult self, you will tread very, very carefully, if at all. If you are a child, you will run across there without a care in the world. What if the two sides of yourself were in balance. The adult first assesses whether this is snow on a meadow or whether there is a pond or lake in the middle of the field. And then once confirming that it's solid ground, it is safe to let the child play, to run across spontaneously. And this is what your new beginning is now. Some of you are feeling relief. Your mind is saying, oh good, I get to do some more assessment. If you're listening to this podcast episode, we're here to say, no. Because you have been assessing for years. It's time now. Let your child run across the field of snow. It's safe. Go. Go forth and play. Trek across into the unknown. You've already determined it's safe. Any more mulling and contemplation is merely holding yourself back. And on that note, we will exit the dragon spirit space with 3 dragon breaths. So breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Ha. And again, in through your nose and out. Ha. And in through your nose and breathe out. Ha. Wow, that was pretty cool. I had this image of this field and it just felt so pristine and the white crunchy snow, and I was just so excited to run across it. And I hope you're feeling the same way too. Just getting that reassurance from the universe that everything is safe. It's like, I don't know, it feels like putting mittens on. That's the best way I can describe it for me. You know, nice, warm, fluffy, cozy mittens. And you just feel so, like, embraced and supported. So that's our podcast episode for this week. A new episode of the Holly C Show, Express Your Brilliance with Ease and Flow, is released every Monday morning, but not for much longer. I've been directed by the universe to stop this podcast in its current shape and form when we reach episode 84, which is coming up pretty soon. However, you can still listen to every single episode on my website at hollyc.com, HOLLYTSE.com, and I'm excited to share I've been getting a lot of direction on what the next step is, like what's the next level for connecting with Dragon Spirit, and it's going to be a lot more guided for people, for those who choose, who want this guidance, who want to step forth into the snow and be able to tune into their own inner guidance, their own wisdom and clarity from the universe, and create the world that you want to see. We can do this together, and that's what's so exciting about this new direction, is a lot more joining together. So I'm going to be sharing more details about this on my website when it comes through from the universe, www.hollyc.com. But there's nothing there just yet. I'm still receiving the details from the universe. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Whether you're listening to it at the beginning of January 2020 or whether you're listening to this at a different time, know that it's the right time for you, because this is when you're shifting into your new beginning. So I am super excited for you, and I can't wait to see what manifests for my new beginning and yours too. Thanks for listening. I look forward to when we reconnect again soon. Bye for now.